Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I'll be reviewing my fourth and final game from the Ann Arbor Autumn Open. If you did not see my other reviews, my other three reviews, first off, go check them out. They're my most recent uploads. And secondly, I am currently 3-0 at the tournament, feeling pretty good with myself, although all four games were played in one day. So at this point, fatigue is starting to set in. But I had one more round to go. I was excited, and my fourth round opponent was Ann Wondon. And if you're surprised by maybe the ranks here, as a reminder, the tournament was a Dawn division. The whole Dawn division was just one division, and it was all even games. And there were other 4 Dawns and a few 2 Dawns as well. So my opponent was doing very well at this point. I think they were 2-1. And also there was the other matches which involved the other 4 Dawns. They were playing for the Michigan State Championship. And so since I'm not from Michigan, I was not put in those matches. So yeah, that meant in the final round, I got to play Ann, which I'm very grateful for. He's a very nice guy. But my final round is against a 1 Dawn. He gets black, I get white. We have an even game. Let's see what happens. We get a pretty standard opening. And then black goes here. Which, if you do not know, this is the Kobayashi opening. Popularized by famous Japanese pro Kobayashi Koichi. I believe in the early 2000s. But since the AIs, this opening is not as common. And the reason for that is because, as you may guess, AIs have, I wouldn't say solved it, but have found it's not as good as it might have been in the past. The reason why I was considered really good in the past, and this was one of the most common openings I would see when I was playing in the 2010s, is the whole idea with this opening is if you tried to play, let's say, a normal approach, like let's say you play the 1 space high approach, you would get pincered, and the idea was K4 is in a really nice spot to attack white on a large scale. Or, same thing here. You would get pincered, and again, K4 would be in a nice spot. So, it was considered normal back then to then play moves like C6 or D6, something a little further away. But because you're playing a little further away, like for example, let's just go with C6 in this case, black would play C4, you would extend, black would extend from C16, you would jump, and then black would jump here. And again, this was one of the most common openings you would see against the Kobayashi opening. And basically this was considered pretty good for black, actually. Black's bottom was considered pretty solid. White's group here, while solid, or not solid, but safe, not 100% alive. But white does get sente at this point. So this was considered what was the best option to avoid any sort of fights, which would happen if you played quote-unquote normal approaches. But AIs have shown that instead of approaching far away like this, instead you can just attach. And the attachment is saying, okay, you can't pincer me now because I'm touching your stone. You have to play something local. And now when you play something local, you're going to get either over-concentrated or not a great result. And again, not to bog down this review on this tangent of the Kobayashi, this was just the move you would see. So that's why you don't see the Kobayashi very often. So black playing it here was actually very refreshing. It's like, oh, somebody who is a very studied player, you can tell, and also sticks to what they enjoy. And Ann, my opponent, because we talked after the game, he's very nice, complimented my play. I really appreciated that, but he's a very nice person, and he was saying how at recent events he had been doing very well at 1 Dawn. In fact, I believe earlier this year, when I was at the Midwest Open, he was there too, and he won the Dawn division there. So he's a very strong one dawn, it turns out. Soon to be much stronger, at least officially ranked-wise. So, yeah. But you'll see Black's played very solid in this game. Very, very solid. Very methodical player. So this is not an easy game for White by any means. Black plays Kobayashi, and I know there's attachments here, but if you look at the top here, whenever you have an approach, or your opponent has a 3-4, that when you approach it, your approach is also an extension from one of your stones. That should be top priority on a board like this. So in the game, I took that chance immediately. And before I go into why, let me actually explain. Instead of Kobayashi, what else should Black have done? Well, I'm sure you've seen attachments. This is much more common nowadays, or just fixing one of his own corners, one of his 3-4 corners, or approaching mine. So yeah, basically prioritizing the corners as opposed to the sides is what you would see nowadays. But again, if you put this through AI, the AI is not like, hey, Black's lost this game, right? It's only a few percentages, only fractions of points get lost with K4. So play the openings you enjoy. That's the key. Play openings you enjoy. So I approach, and the reason is, at this point, you might think, okay, I know my Joseki. I'm going to play K16. K16, though, if you notice, is actually very similar to the Kobayashi, where you have a formation in the upper left and you extend it and leaving the 3-4 open. So Black could actually, if Black knows their AI variations, tactics, could attach here. So instead, and it doesn't have to just be the 3-4, this can also be done from the 4-4. Instead of playing in the side, you can prioritize the corner as well. So you could see moves such as this move. You could see moves like M16. You might see moves like O16, which are helping the top, but prioritizing the corner. Whereas this move is only prioritizing the side. So yeah, in the game though, I even went further and went all the way to the corner, which is also playable. But I think it's more standard to play a move somewhere up top, like this or this or this, something there. For example, like with O16, if Black approaches normally and you kick, you can see O16 would be in the perfect spot. That's the whole idea, is it's again making it hard for Black to approach the upper right. So I play big opening, and Black plays there, Shamari as well. And again, I'm not going to say where specifically, but I play somewhere up top. Where do you think I played? Well, now, whenever I have these Moyo games, I always try to build on a large scale. Try to build on the largest scale possible. So where do you think I went? Keeping that in mind. I went to F13. F13 not only threatening to D13, but look at the scale at which I'm building the top. Now it is wide open and Black can jump in, and that is fine. Remember, when you have a Moyo, you want to invite your opponent to come in. That is the key. Because if your opponent jumps in, especially in this case, they're going to have a weak group. You can bully it around, you can push it around, and you can develop elsewhere. Or, as opposed to developing elsewhere, you can get thickness, which will make invading Black's area on the bottom easier, because you have allies in the center to aid you in invading the bottom. And so Black, I won't say takes the bait, because again, I don't think it's necessarily bad for Black to come in, but Black kind of gives me what I want. And so I still get to extend at N17. Again, I'm pushing Black towards my kind of thickness there. And now we have to ask ourselves another question. What is the max amount of points Black could make up top? Not much, right? Maybe max, if we're very generous, maybe 6 or 7 points up top. So Black can't really make a lot of points up top. So that's why Black has made a group that's not going to be worth a lot and is going to have to pay for it in other areas. So yeah, instead, I would try to avoid the top is black and instead maybe try to reduce it from far away. Maybe something like Q7. Because the problem is, let's say I'm like, okay, black, you have given me everything I've wanted. I'll give black Sente really quick, like this. Okay. You give me everything I wanted. I'm going to play a big move up top, something like this. Now look at the board. White's now putting all their eggs in one basket. And while that basket is very big, it is still pretty wide open. Like if black just pops a stone in, it's actually pretty hard to attack it severely enough to warrant adding another stone. So black should just be kind of avoiding that area to begin with. Yeah, like let's say black, yeah, even if black plays something like this, right, allowing an extension on either side, there's a lot of aji to be able to live here. So black should still be avoiding it. Now, I wouldn't play a move like that. I would continue. The whole idea with F13 and why I played it specifically is I'm looking to shoulder hit here. So if black did do something like this, I mean, I would probably O5, but if I was going to play up top, I would instead shoulder hit at D13, push black down on the left side. Make sure black can't develop the left side. Because if black's able to get a move here, black can actually get up on the fourth line and therefore build the left side pretty well, actually. But black comes in. So I push. Black plays in, yes. And I get the shoulder hit. Black pushes. And then extend. And then black does something, again, I would not recommend here. Black goes here. What is the problem with this move? If you're black here, what do you think the problem is? The problem is, didn't 4 moves ago black make a group on the board, right? Black made a group on the board up top. And in 4 moves, black is making another group. So we have to ask ourselves, okay, how strong is the group that we're leaving? Well, it doesn't even have a base yet. If white gets K17, this group does not have any eyes. So black should not be making another group. Black should instead be trying to help this group somehow. Maybe coming out like this. Again, you don't necessarily want to make the points up here with moves like M18. So I would just be trying to run out. And if white does get a move on the upper right like this, there's still a lot of aji in the corner, whether you attach here, whether you play the 3-3, whether you even play this move, this shoulder hit. There's a lot of aji still in the upper right. So there's not a big rush to get into the right side because of that. So I would be helping my weak group I've made. But black makes another group. I extend, of course. Get my perfect extension. Don't let black get their perfect extension. Black jumps, and then I take the corner. Black slides, and then I protect. And so far, black may have made some maybe moves I would not personally have made, but I think they are all possible. They're all possible depending on how black plays, but black's next move is definitely the first mistake. Remember what I was saying up top. When you have a moyo, you want to try to build it as big as possible. Now, again, I think this is a little extreme. Like this is probably asking for a little too much, but it got the job done because I was able to get black to jump in. But with that in mind, black should be trying to do the same thing on the bottom. Black should be trying to build the bottom side on a large scale. That's the whole idea with the Kobayashi, is you want to build your moyo. So whether black maybe jumps here, or maybe caps here. Cap also, by the way, helps this right side group. Or maybe even plays this large knights move, where black's threatening to connect the corner and the lower left, the upper left corner and the lower left corner. So if white turns, black can build on a very large scale on the bottom. This is the kind of idea black should be looking for. But in the game, black plays here. And this is kind of against what the Kobayashi is trying to do. The Kobayashi, you're trying to build a moyo and you want your opponent to come in so you can attack them. You make it so big that they have to come in. But when you play G4, not only is it over-concentrated, but you make it easy for white to decide, okay, you can have the bottom side then. I'll just attack in this case, attack your 2 other groups on the board. So yeah, black should really try to build on a large scale, something like this. something like this. Again, capping here, a lot of options. Again, I like this large knights as well. But you want white to come in. Because similarly, when black played up top, even if white can come in, right? Like let's say white comes in, even if this group can live, it's not going to be worth a lot of points. And again, you're going to get thickness. You're going to secure your lower left corner and your bottom side. Hopefully you get Sente, because hopefully your opponent doesn't live in Sente. That'd be a problem. But you can get moves that will help you elsewhere on the board. So this is the wrong idea with not only the Kobayashi, but Moyo openings in general. So I attach immediately because black has, I'm going to try to over-concentrate black even more. Crosscut. Then after the crosscut, I just go elsewhere. Now, the reason why I'm okay with allowing black to take here is, as you can see, black's getting very over-concentrated. Imagine I did this first. All right, let's say I did this first. I go elsewhere. Black takes. I do something else. Black would never, ever, ever play g4, right? Way too over-concentrated. But that's the position I put black in when black went here. Because if black takes, look how over-concentrated black is. So black doesn't really want to take, is the idea. It makes g4 even mean less. Plus black's getting attacked in the right side anyway. So black connects, and then I go under. And here, this is actually my first mistake too. It's not a major one, but it does matter. So in the game I went here, with the idea being if you cut, and this is what happens in the game, I have Mie between S15 and S11. If black plays S11, I can capture, and if black plays S15, I can connect. And all that sounds dandy, right? But there is a problem with this, is this is not the only move black can play to force me to S15. So for example, if black, let's say black goes here, or let's say black, let's say black, it's not good, but just for simplicity's sake, let's say black bumps here and then extends. Well, notice I only have 3 liberties to black's 4. So if black can disconnect me, or disconnect these 2 stones, I mean, from my lower right, I have a lot of problems. Those problems being these 2 stones die. As you see, black has now separated me in Sente. So that means if black can do something like this in Sente, my stones get captured. And so that means, okay, what are black's moves that are Sente? Well, again, S11 is a simple one, but black can also play moves like S10. Even if I Hane, like this, black can bump here. And black is already threatening S15. If I do something else, black can extend. If I cut, same idea. And while in this kind of position, it would prevent black from, or it would prevent black from being able to cut at R9, this would be giving black an eye, which makes black's group a lot stronger, a lot stronger. And of course, with follow-ups at R8. So yeah, so black has the right idea here and black attaches because black knows, oh, white has problems. So again, let's say I Hane here, black goes here, and let's say I cut. If black Atari's here, black's threatening S15. So black has the right idea here. Black has the right idea. In the game, black crosscuts, and I think this can work, but I didn't like what black did in the game. But before I get into that, the better move for white is to just connect back. Don't even give black that Aji. Now black doesn't get into the right side, and black still needs to connect if black cares about this stone at S13. And the thing is, even if black gets this 1 stone, black hasn't even made an eye by connecting. So black is still very weak, and my lower right is very solid. So the way I played, the way I played, even though I capture S14, is the reason why what I played was a mistake is because of the Aji that black can use after I cut here. So black crosscuts. Again, I think this can work, but black should just like push me down here. If I take, black can even descend now. And yeah, or if I connect, I mean, and I have to go here. And again, not that this move is always Sente, but I would like to save these. Like black can separate here. So I would kind of have to take Atari. And then again, now black can still use this move. And even if black leaves it now, you can see how much black has pushed me down on the right side there. So yeah, I lose a lot of points by trying to capture S14. So, but black Atari's this way, which I think this is a wrong idea because while you do get into my corner, yes, your 5 stones here get very isolated. Black jumps, I play the bamboo joint, black plays there, and then I come out. Gotta keep these separated, whereas also don't let my corner get surrounded. And black jumps here. So I think this is another black mistake because which of these two groups are weaker for black? Is the top side weaker or the right side weaker? It's close. They're both pretty weak. But the thing with the top is that it at least has a base, and at any point black can play maybe moves like H18, which are sente to connect, and you can see black can make a base up top pretty easily. So black can make a pretty healthy base up top, whereas the right side cannot. The right side doesn't even have one eye. So while this move is a nice shape for the top, you can see there is not a shape connection here. If I'm able to get this move, black is just separated. So I would play a move that more directly helps the 5 stones. AKA, I would think of a move that has good shape connection with the 5 stones. So I'd play this move. Again, it's a minor difference, but it does mean you're more connected with these 5 stones. And also, here, if I play this shoulder hit, this is a very nasty move because there's not a really good follow-up for black to play. But here, the only way for me to separate is to play in the middle, but there's still a good way for black to answer. Whereas here, there's just not a good answer. So I would do this large knights here, or try to find a more sente way to try to help one of your sides. So like maybe attaching here could work, where if white comes up, or hanes, now white is helping you connect in the center somehow, like this. So yeah. It's minutia. It's a minor thing, but you'll see that the black pays for playing this move here. So I cap, or I jump here. Again, black's weak on the bottom. Black hanes and attaches is a nice order of moves, but I can cut. The reason why it's a nice order of moves, or the reason why I can cut, because when black hanes and I extend here, this extension once again is looking towards these 5 stones. And what is important to note here is it's not super simple because remember, this move is sente. I can't connect under. So I have to go here, and then black can separate me in sente. So my right side here is not fully alive. So with that in mind, I think black should do this and then jump here. This helps the connection. And again, I'm not fully alive here on the right side. And as we'll see in the game, black probably wanted to preserve the Aji of this S14 stone, but this looks like a direct way to use it very well. So yeah, black attaches here, which this is it looks like a good shape point, but you'll notice when I bump here, what black didn't want to see is just playing R5. Black didn't like the shape here. Black's saying, I don't even have 2 eyes. But black doesn't need any eyes here if black can just connect out in the center. So black should not be worried about this corner. When black plays here, I can make bamboo joint, Atari, and now I've connected. And again, by connecting, now separating here doesn't mean as much, which means my group is pretty much fully alive now because I've connected. And even here, if black can live in the corner, black should just do this, and black can. If black does this, black can then play here. Black can make an eye here, and even if I Atari here, you can see it's me eye. By Hane connect, and if I take, you can go down. So black's 100% alive here. Black needs a move up top. Now, even if you play the move up top, and this is very painful. This is probably why black did it. Yeah, Atari. If you imagine this sort of shape, you can see, even though black did take out some of the corner, I did get into the bottom a little bit. I'd probably play something at E4 next, and now black's bottom is pretty... Black paid for playing in the corner, I guess is the best way to put it. But but black needs a move in the center. When black goes here, and I finally play N12, you can see how potent that is, especially when I'm fully connected and I even have a stone at N9 now. So black attaches, but again, attaching, look what happens. Forced me to cut through the knight's move. And black pushes again, which again forces me to push through the one space jump now. And this is not an official shape, but this shape here, I like to call the firefly. And yeah, it's the worst shape in the game, in my opinion, because there's no way for black to connect and white is fully connected. But if you were to swap this center stone and made it black, just by switching that one stone, black is fully connected and white's fully separated. So that's why it's a very painful shape. You're pushing straight through a one space jump. That is so painful. And now look at the top, right? So black has this weak group here on the side, and now the top is completely isolated. So black covers here, and I cut. Black extends. I extend with. Then black Ataris here, which I think this is similar to my last round game when I had a huge wall. If you didn't see the game, I had a huge wall on the right side and an extension that's an approach to my opponent's upper left was screaming out. It was so big because I have this huge wall that expanded from the top to the 10 line. But my opponent played a corner move and I asked him about it and he's like, yeah, I just thought you would answer. And yeah, and again, it's hard not to play moves like that, right? You know, we try to find Sente, but this move I can simply just Atari this way. And when black takes, yes, black took that stone, but that stone is meaningless. Look how weak the center is, and look how weak the top is. So this is kind of away from everything that's happening. So black should just do something else entirely. Just help one of these two groups. Again, I would be leaning towards helping the top somehow. Like at least you're out in the center with your right side here. So yeah. Black thought this move was Sente. If I answer, then yeah, and black connects. This is a better shape than if black connects here and I extend. This is what black was trying to avoid. So yes. So not only do I get Sente, so now black doesn't get the chance to make the base up top. And the right side is also weak. So I can surround. And so this is that Aji I was referring to earlier. Black extends, I have to connect. And so when black goes here, this is Sente. So black can make half an eye in Sente. It looks like a full eye, but if I ever get this move, this threatens to separate. So black has one eye because or has half an eye because it takes Gote for me to get rid of it. But it takes Gote for black to keep it. So black has a half an eye there now. But yeah. Play there, connect, and then black comes out. Now, whatever happens, if you're white here, you should just not let black connect these two weak groups, right? Whatever happens, don't let that happen. But, and again, this is where I think black's a very strong player. Very, very strong player. Somehow, black's able to connect these two groups. Which looks impossible, right? Especially if you look at this point. So, yeah, we'll get into that. I definitely make a mistake coming up. But I turn, and even this turn in one move is a problem for black because I can just play here, right? And if black connects, I can just separate. But I smelled blood in the water, so I'm like, okay, I can keep attacking the top as well. Black attaches, I make bamboo joint, and I hane. Black fixes, I descend, and then black cuts. And I had a few ways to handle this. The way I handled it worked in the game, but when black hanes here, I can simply just Atari, and then like connect here. Black can never cut at L9, which means this right side group would be dead. No ifs, ands, or buts. Now the one issue with this for white, potential issue I should say, is the left side is getting isolated. So black's able to play a move, let's say like at H16. White now does need to live on the upper left. Now again, when you basically have an eye here, it shouldn't be the hardest thing in the world, but that's why in the game I actually extended here. Yeah. And again, I think I had other ways to play this. Like, if I simply just like Hane here. Like while I made a bamboo joint, I hit myself on the head of 2 stones as well. So if I just Hane here, this is also dangerous for black, right? Black's still separated. But yeah, when I do this, and then I extend, the problem is my thought was, okay, you still need to connect here, and I can connect here. What I didn't see was, because what I saw was here, if black just does, like let's say black cuts here, like this, I can always capture in the center because I can play here. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, I never have danger of getting separated or of getting cut off, which is true. But what I didn't see is that when black plays N13 instead, and I try to separate, now this doesn't work. I cannot play at O11 anymore. And so I would just be captured. I can't capture these stones in a ladder. So yeah, this would be just disastrous for white. So instead I had to Atari here, let black connect. Now again, I think I had a slightly better way of playing. Well, it's hard to say. Like I could play here and then cut this way as well. And capture these two. This is another way to play. But they're very similar. So instead I just Atari there, black connects. So somehow black was able to connect their groups. Yeah, so again, black's very strong one Don, I must say. But yeah, black does have a mess in the center, these just random cutting stones here. So black connected, but yeah, just connecting to the 2 groups wasn't really worth that much was the problem. So now I activate the corner. And again here, I think black should Atari, even if black wants to play E3, because after this, now I can't live in the corner. This is just a dead group. So if I have to Atari here, if black takes, yeah, I can't even like Atari really, because there's just not that great Aji there in the corner. But even if black connects here, like I kind of have to run out, but running out is very awkward. Like I can't even Hane here. So I'd have to play moves like this, which you can see aren't really getting me that much. So yeah, just going here though, and letting me get this Atari and then C2, you could see I now just have a living shape in the corner. In almost Sente as well. The reason why black went there, while it's not fully Sente, like if black did something else, is there's a very big squeeze here like this. Yeah, like this. This is very big. Now I won't have to spend a move on the inside to live, and now I'm getting into black's bottom. So that's why black answered. So then I cut this stone off, black attaches and clamps. I'm not sure why black clamped. Black could have just played here. I think maybe black didn't want to see this move. And I guess there is reason to not want to see this move. It just felt weird to clamp and let me get this point just to cut off that stone. But yeah, I take black covers. And then I push here. Again, this was... Yeah, black could have blocked here in Sente, so I just wanted to get a little extra points. But yeah, basically, even though black was able to live, white took a lot of cash. If you see the upper right and top are very big. And again, black lost a lot in the center as well. Descend. The point of descent is if black Hanes, there's a clamp. And I figured that was pretty big, so I wanted to prevent that. While threatening monkey jumps. Black blocks, I fix. Black gets the Hane. And here, I definitely make a mistake here. I can simply just Hane. This is definitely, in this case, this was me tunnel visioning for sure. This was not me being low on time. It's just, if you're a long-time viewer of this channel, or my Go career, if you will, you know I am a pretty fast player, and especially in Fisher time, when you can gain time if you play fast, I end up not really getting in time trouble. So this was just me not taking enough time. What I simply saw was I could play here, and if black Hane'd, I could get this Atari. This was all I saw in my mind. But clearly, being able to Hane here is just too good. Like a black cuts. Black needs to save these 4 stones somehow. So this was me being a little lazy. Yeah, I get that. Push. Black Ataris allows me to connect or capture. Black connects, and black is alive. It's very close, but yeah, black does have 2 eyes. descend again. Yep. So now the double descent is pretty scary for black, actually. If I'm able to get this move, yeah, black has potential problems. Potential problems. Yeah. If black descends and we imagine this is Sente, it's not always Sente, but white can play B18, which threatens a ko underneath to connect. But yeah, this is you don't only have to play the monkey jump. There are other weaknesses that you could look for. And again, not saying this works entirely in this case because I don't think this is Sente, but you can see like if black has to go here and play here, yeah, it's going to be some sort of I versus no I scenario, I think. Which could be, you can see, is very dangerous for black. So there's a lot of bad achi. So getting this double descent is very important. Black goes there and then blocked. Peep. And play here. This is the last big area. And then we just kind of go into endgame. There is some exciting stuff that happens in the lower right, but in terms of kind of importance, it's not the biggest because I end up getting this ko here. This is a very nice move. Again, you gotta maximize your points. While this move also threatens to make or to kill black, you give black 2 points here. Whereas if you can go here, black can't block here because of the Atari, can't block here because of the Atari. You can see black gets captured. So black has to connect, and now black only gets 1 point there. So yeah, 1 point. You get 1 point extra. Black cuts, extend, black Ataris, cut here, black answers, and then black connects, so I can take. So that's, yeah, even more points for me. Get this Hane. I almost didn't answer this. I think I was going to squeeze on the bottom. The reasoning is if black cuts here, this does get captured if I try to save. So that works, and if that works, I do have to worry about my group here. But I can simply play here instead, and if black plays there, I can connect or still capture. But I figured, nah, it's just big enough just to answer. Black goes there, Hane, and take, squeeze black down. And yeah, we just kind of go into endgame. So I'll speed up a little bit until there's maybe interesting things. I think right here, actually, black plays on the inside. But even if we fill up all the liberties, there's no problems here for black. If the two obvious moves to check are these two spots here, but if white goes here, they're mi. It's an I versus no I scenario. And same thing here. Key here, you can make 2 I's. So there's just no problem. Now, the thing is, if white gets this spot, yes, there are going to be problems, right? Now this peep now this invasion is now a peep. But you only have to fix if white gets d16. So you can just play d16 to save a point there. But black plays inside. Play this clamp. This is a nice tesuji to know, by the way. Black's unable to separate this stone because you can descend and black can't play a11. And yeah, we of course, something about my final round games they always last the longest, and I'm not sure why that is. It happened earlier this year at the Midwest Open as well, where they were basically doing the award ceremony during my final round game. We have this ko going on, by the way, Atari, and black just gives it up. It's too painful to try to continue. But yeah, like during this game, because the venue was not closing anytime really soon, but it was, all the tables were starting to get cleared off. All the boards were gone. It was just us playing. The chatter levels went up a little bit, which was fine. We were like at the pretty late in the game, so it was okay. But yeah, fighting this ko. If you want to see the game, and this is actually true for all my games from this tournament, I've left an OGS link to all the games. If you want to see every single move played out in this game, you may. But for the video purposes, I'll just kind of hurry things up. And yeah, after this, I believe the final score, after all the ko's finally finished, final score was white by, I think, 40 points, 40 and a half points. So yeah, it was nice to actually. It was also my only game that went to counting as well, so finally got to count a game. But yeah, that meant for the tournament I was 4-0, and that was enough to actually win the event. So I did end up winning the Ann Arbor Autumn Open. It's pretty happy with myself. I was seeded the highest, so I had high expectations for myself to be able to do well, but it's always nice to deliver as well. So I'm happy with my play. I ended up winning a new Yellow Mountains Imports board and set of stones with a carrying bag. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, I was very excited to win that prize. And I just want to thank the tournament directors, who I believe were Daniel ML, a very prominent Go figure in the Go community, and Wright. For their first tournament ever, it was a phenomenal event, and I had a lot of fun. And if they do another one, which I hope they do, I will definitely go next time as well. But yeah, thank you for watching this review. I will say when this video comes up, it should be November 16th. If you're watching this the day it came out, which, if you're watching this that day, I am currently playing in a tournament, actually. The Cleveland tournament is November 16th, the next one. So, expect more tournament review or game reviews from that tournament after this one. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.